previous video, we have mixed our master mix with our controls and our sample. So now we will be loading this into the thermal cycler machine. So the thermal cycler will actually be set first, programmed to our desired program. If you can see here on the right, the temperature and the duration. And our setting will be for a 40 microliter sample because each of the volumes of our sample in the PCR tube is 40 microliters. So we put it snugly in these brackets and secure the lid of our thermal cycler. And then we run the program for 40 microliters. So here is now a visual representation of the temperatures and the duration for this PCR. So this will take more than 4 hours. So here you can see the temperature of the lid, the cover, rising. So it's heating up, and the temperature of the sample will also be rising later on. So we have 4 hours and 12 minutes to wait for this, and the volume of our sample is 40 microliters. So notice here, we are now going to transition into the next step. Okay, I hope you got that change in step. So we are now in column number 2. Wherein the temperature 94 degrees Celsius is for the denaturation. And now we have step number 3 here. This is part of the 40 cycles, so at 60 degrees Celsius, and this one is for annealing. So notice here we're going to transition to the next step. Right? So look at the temperature of the sample. It needs to rise up first. It's now at around 60 degrees Celsius. It needs to reach 72 degrees Celsius before the timer for this step will start. So notice the timer is still paused. And now we start because the sample has reached 72 degrees Celsius. So 2 minutes for this particular step. And after this step, it's going to go back to number 2, column number 2. Okay, so this step is about to end. So we're going to go back to column number 2, which requires 94 degrees Celsius for the sample. And look at the sample temperature go up. And the time right now is still being paused because the temperature is not yet reached. So now that our sample is at 94 degrees Celsius, our timer starts to tick again. So this is going to repeat for 40 times because we're looking for 40 cycles of thermal cycling. And now here's our PCR about to end. After 4 hours, it's complete. And so our sample will now be ready for the next step, which is our gel electrophoresis. So we're going to refrigerate this.